So here is here is the stitching that was done to remove his melanoma, and then right here they put a pin in here that says Con Med. I don't know what that is. They put a pin in here, Con Med, like a sticker. And then where's the other place? Where's the other place that has a where you feel something? Where's the other place on your leg?
Right here.
Where?
Right there.
Right here. Let me see. Yeah, right here. He has also a nodule. Right here, I can feel it. When did you start feeling that? Just recently? When you're in rehab?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then right here, around his pubic, he's got that. That looks like melanoma to me. That black. Whoa. There's that bug that was up your nose. You see that? I have a bug. Just saw a bug go running.
I told you they were.
Well, that's why you need to take a shower.
That's right.
I wanted to take a shower the other day. The bugs are living on you.
I was so weak.
I know. And here's his blood pressure is really low.
So
So I just want to recount this for the record, okay? For the record. So Suncoast Dermatology, Ralph Masulo, right? You've been a customer of them how long? For about 20 years. You started with him in the 80s, late 80s,
Yep,
right?
that's right. He's opened up his little shop.
And what really shocked me, and is something you told me, is that in the 20 years you went there, they never asked you to strip down and do a full body check. You just sat there in the chair, and the doctor would, what was his name, Brian? Well, you had Methula before that, didn't he? He never.
He's not a doctor. He's a flunky. I don't know.
Yeah, but he never did a full body. Like, it's like going to the dentist. Like, when you go to the dentist, you expect the dentist to go and look over your mouth and prod and poke and do all that. A dermatology appointment should be the same thing. Like when you experienced at Bayderm. Bayderm had you strip down, right? Asked for your consent.
That's
and says,
right.
can I strip down and check? And you said, sure. When I mentioned that to Brian, he says, well, you have to ask for that, right? Can you believe that? It's kind of going to a dentist and saying, go for your dental checkup, and the dentist saying, well, in order for me to check your teeth, you have to ask me to check. No, it's assumed that you're going to check the teeth, and then you can ask for permission on it. So for 20 years, and then what happened was, on his toe here, we actually discovered this. This got removed here, and then basically, then later on the tip, underneath the tip of his toe, had they done a full body, they would have found it. There was cancer here, and they had to remove, and that was really painful, right? That was, what did he say about the pain level?
Well, after the operation, what they give you for the operation, they give you, and then when that wore off, boy, I tell you, I needed painkillers.
And he sent you home. We tried to get you to stay at the hospital, but the doctor said no.
Oh, that's right. I asked to see.
I asked him.
And they said no.
It's an outpatient thing.
It's not on your insurance or something.
No, it's just an outpatient procedure and don't need it. And I do this all the time. And you said it was the worst pain. Is that right, that you've ever had?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excruciating torture.
Absolutely. I didn't want to live. I wanted to die. I mean, I'm serious.
And I called the doctor, and they were so far away that, well, you can bring him in. And I already was exhausted because of staying up all the time. It wasn't safe for me to drive you all the way back down to Moffett. And well, there's a choice.
We should have come out here. Should have come to the nearest.
Yeah, you think you should have come here to the hospital and checked in on that? But that was the pain. You can, Ralph Masulo, right? Ralph Masulo, in a way, is responsible because had he done his job and detected the melanoma early enough and removed it early enough, none of this you'd be happening. And now you're on your potentially on your deathbed here at the hospital, Oh, and I think it's and you have a low blood cell count. They're giving a transfusion here because your body is fighting off the cancer. Oh, they have the water. Okay, the water is closed off. Okay. On there. So he's getting blood transfusion. Oh.
White coat. That must be a doctor.
Huh?
There must be a doctor.
Yeah, white coat. Maybe he's coming.
White.
Looking around.
White coat.
Yeah. So, anyway. So how many times in the 20 years that you went to Ralph's office did he do a full body, has you disrobe and check your full body?
I didn't see them every year.
Once a year you'd go there.
Routinely.
Once a year you'd have your checkup. They would call you and get your checkup once a year. Every year. You'd get your body, they would call you and say, hey, it's time for your checkup. I was there when they did your checkup the last time. And then what happened? Recount the story. You didn't like Brian, right?
Well, I went to Bay because you spotted that
No, I didn't spot anything.
dermatologist right
No.
in our neighborhood.
No, you said he wouldn't help you on your. This is what I recount. You tell me. What you said is, I really don't like Brian. My butt. I've got this thing on my butt. They've never been able to solve it. The thing on there, right? So and I said, well, why don't we just go here? That's right near Bayderm is right next door. It's convenient. Why don't we just pop in there and see what they say?
You're the one that spotted it. Look, there's a dermatologist right here.
Yeah, but I didn't spot any cancer. And then when you went into Bayderm, it was a complete. How was Bayderm different than Ralph's experience?
They found
No, but explain the experience earlier. What did they do that Ralph's operation didn't do?
they spotted some,
How did they spot it though? They requested something, right? They just
and they wanted to do
they requested that you disrobe. Can you take your clothes off and put on a gown? I want to do a full body check.
No, that's later.
No, that's what they did. That's how they found it.
They took a sample of
But
it
before
and
that-
sent it to the lab.
I know, but how they requested to do a full body check, to look over your full body. You had to take your clothes off, right? And that's why they found it. Something that Ralph never did.
That's
Brian
right.
never did that. In the 20 years that you were going there as a patient, Ralph never once, his business never once said, hey,
No,
take
but
your
it
clothes
was-
off.
It was Brian.
Doesn't matter. He works for Ralph, so it's Ralph's fault. If Ralph doesn't ask for Brian to do it, then it's his fault. He's the commander of the ship.
Yeah,
It's buck stops with Ralph.
he was very upset when I brought that Bay stuff.
Yeah, well, you went back. You didn't believe Bayderm. So what happened? Tell us the story. You went back. Once they detected cancer, you went back to Brian because you didn't believe them. You didn't believe that you had cancer. You questioned it. I remember. So you went back to Brian, and explain what happened when you went back to Brian. You didn't want me there because I was angry.
He gave me a belt.
So explain what happened. You went into his office
And we waited.
and you sat down.
Yep, it's on the end of the table or something.
Yeah.
And,
Did he ask you to disrobe?
and he said,
Did he ask you to disrobe?
no.
Did he make any sort of thing? Hey, I want to do a full body check on you.
I think he looked at my back and
He lifted up your shirt and looked at your back and looked at your arms.
that was a very, very casual thing. And boy, you're in good shape.
He said, what? Say that again?
You're in good shape, you know. You're all right. And he dismissed me. And then I went into the Bay place.
No, you had no. Okay.
Well, I had the Bay report in my hand.
Yeah.
And this report that they had taken a sample of my.
You got your report back from it. You didn't believe the report that it was cancer. You wanted to go back and get an opinion from the best. Ralph's the best.
That's right.
He's maybe these Bayderm guys, Suncoast is the best. Ralph's the best. So you went back to Ralph to get an opinion.
That's right, because
And he said, oh, you're fine, Mr. Trout. You check out okay.
then I said, what about this thing in my hand? there was a lab report that showed I had some sort of melanoma or something, and they had, what do they call it when they send a sample?
Malignant.
No, it's a procedure.
You're doing a biopsy.
Biopsy, that's right. They gave me a biopsy and gave me a report. And then I went up there and saw Brian. And he says, "You're all right." And I said, "How about this?" And they turned white.
It turned white.
Yeah, right. And the nurse, and they said, "Just a minute." And they went off. And
You knew he goofed up.
then Ralph got involved in it.
No, but Ralph, Ralph come in that day or no? No, Ralph didn't come in that day. You were like, what's?
No, they took everything to him, all this, and he said, "Oh, we gotta, I gotta get their lab work," and it took about a week to get the lab work that Bay people had done, and then when he saw that, and checked on it himself,
But that was again, yeah, and that's what they found
he
here.
said, "I can operate on it." And it had already been set up with the Bay people.
Well, no, it was going to be the.
I have all these three doctors. One was a surgeon, one was a cancer specialist, and another was a regular dermatologist. And
Well, the thing is you the cancer specialist surgeon wanted to basically do a full removal and
he's going to do it.
and graft.
He's doing a graft.
Right. He was going to do a full removal and do a graft from your butt. But Ralph convinced you that he could do it immediately
Right.
and just do a scissor procedure.
Hey, how you doing there?
Go ahead.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm
Mike
Dr.
Trout.
Brownhauer. How you doing? Good to meet you. How you
Yeah.
doing, bud?
Oh, much better, thanks.
Yeah.
We're recounting his horrible. Well, he has. I think he has. I think this here is this right here. The scar is where you had melanoma removed, and then right here is this huge mass, which makes me think that maybe some of it wasn't removed because Ralph convinced him that he could just do a scissor procedure, and a surgeon wanted to do a full procedure, which included the graft, and he didn't want to do the graft, so he went with the simpler, which was against my advice, right?
Who's Ralph? I don't know.
Masulu,
Ralph Masuda.
Who's that?
Suncoast Dermatology. He's he's your representative.
My representative?
Yeah, for Florida. Are you not from Florida? You're not from around here?
We're in a different county.
No, I
Oh,
don't,
you're a different county.
yeah, I don't know what that means. My representative.
He's a state representative now. He just won election.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, so in the 20, he started off his office back 20 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and in the 20 years he never did a full body check.
Huh.
And the guy Brian was really annoyed because he had an ulcer. It's like a callus on his butt. It always kept coming back, and the guy wouldn't explain. Brian was his assistant.